Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and welcome back to another video. And, well, it has been quite some time, and I won't exactly bore you with the details as to why I have not been uploading regularly. To, I guess, put it shortly, I just haven't been in the best place in real life. Still not particularly in the best of places, but there's not really a point in talking about it, so I'll just go ahead and continue on with this replay, which is of course why you are all here. And today, as you can see, we're actually not on Third Age Reforged. We are rather on Silmarillion Total War, which is another mod for Third Age Total War. This one is made by some of the same people that made Third Age Reforged, but not all the same, I believe. I know J-Monster and Smith the Dark Cloud are two big parts of this mod, as well as others, of course. I have been quite out of the loop because, like I said, things in real life have kept me away from this lovely game. However, I'm not going to make any false promises as I have in the past saying, oh, I'll try to make more videos, sorry about that, guys, you know, anything like that. I'll just try to do the best I can. I mean, like I said, I really do enjoy these games and these mods and everything, so I definitely enjoy commentating this. However, like, I'm not expecting this to get tons and tons of views, mainly because I haven't uploaded in so long, but it's still something that I enjoy doing, so I will definitely continue to do replays like this whenever I get them, and whenever I get the chance to do so. So, without any further ado, we can go ahead and go into the army compositions of the two players here. We've got FFA Muffins playing as the Elves of OSSIRIAND. You can see he's got a lot of cav. He's definitely playing for a more skirmish kite type gameplay here. He's got a couple units of the Sentries of Gelion, which are horse archers, obviously. He's also got, I believe, a couple units of these Outriders of Dulwyn, Lance Cavalry, that are AP. Relatively cheap, I believe, not super great in armor, but they do have a shield to protect them from missiles. Definitely not something you want to leave in melee, just in and out cycle chargers, really. Over here, he's got some Ents, which I believe is where his general is. And over here, I believe he's got another unit of Sentries of Gelion and another unit of Outriders of Dulwyn. And as for his main infantry, well, I guess not infantry, these are more foot archers. He's got a couple units of the Urfin and Tower. And as you can see, despite saying heavy infantry, they're actually archers with two-handed axes, which I believe does make them AP in melee. Of course, Elf is pretty much always going to be very good in terms of skirmishers. He's also got a couple of these Mathern and Tol Gallon. Not quite a unit that has like hit points, obviously, but still a very solid frontline infantry choice here for the Elves of OSSIRIAND. Because of their maces, they are AP. I believe they have 11 attack, 30 defense, and like 9 armor. So definitely more of a tanky front line here. He's also got some Spear Host of Gelion. I believe he's got 2 or 3 units of them. Yeah, maybe just 2. Which, of course, is like kind of like a light pike unit. Very low armor, but you can see they can hide as well. Definitely going to be good at warding off cavalry, but do not want them to be getting shot whatsoever because they will drop very quickly. He's also got a couple of these Spear Hosts of Rathloriel. Sorry about these names, by the way. I will not be pronouncing them very well. And as you can see, these are the same units, but one has 73 men, one has about double that. And this is something that was introduced into Silmarillion Total War, which I'm actually a very big fan of. You can see that happens in other places as well, because I don't know if I can actually find them. Yeah, he's right over here. There's more Urfini Tower, which you just saw over on the other flank. But again, only half the numbers in that unit. And basically what that allows people to do is the half units, or I guess like, you know, smaller units, you could call them, are a little bit cheaper, but they have the same stats as the full-on regular units, but they are a little bit cheaper with less men to boot. And what that really helps with is if you don't have a full 20 stack, but you want to, you can drop a couple of your full units and get a couple more half units. And it's a very interesting concept that I am actually a huge fan of, because I think it'll just be lead to a lot of interesting situations and like army compositions and such. So I really hope they do continue with this, especially because you can do the same thing with archers, obviously, and like crossbowmen and stuff, which I believe people are going to be far less likely to expect, or I guess to notice a unit of only like 50 so archers instead of the usual like 100 or more. Also, you know, you can bring more units that are past the increased price. I mean, there are going to be less men in the unit, but you can still bring more of them, which is also always a plus if you like that particular unit and you're going for a certain kind of comp. But yeah, he's got a couple units here. The Spear Host of Rathloriel, 1 full, 1 half, and then over here he's got some more Spear Host of Gelion, looks like 2 more units. Up in the front here, he's got, you know, these Scouts of Gelion, just a lower tier archer, but still elven, so good accuracy and the like. Skirmishers of Rathloriel, I believe this might also be the half unit, actually, but I'm not positive. Like I said, I'm not super in the loop here because I just haven't been on much. Another unit of this Mace Infantry, as well as the half unit of Urfin and Tower. And I believe that'll do it for his army composition, so we'll now go over to the other players. Alrighty, and the other player is going to be playing as the Realm of ANGBAND, is Death Eater. And we'll just go ahead and get straight into the army composition because there's no really point in lollygagging. He's got a couple units, I believe, of the Wolf Riders of ANGBAND. Good melee cav, anti-cav. They'll, as long as they can get into the Horse Archers or the Outriders of Dulawen even, they will be able to cut them down relatively quickly, but they're not going to be as deadly on the charge as those Lancers. Yeah, he's got one unit on either flank here. And I'm actually a really big fan of his overall deployment and like positioning, I guess, formation, because you can see he's kind of split his army in two here. Playing as the Orcs is a little bit easier to do that, of course, than as the good factions, because they tend to be less numerous than the Orcs. And I really do like this because you can see his main line here is being backed by some Trolls and some Cavalry, but it's also full of the AP Ironshod Halberdiers as well as some Ironshod Legionaries to give them some shielded and armored support from that very extensive list of skirmishers that the Elves of Ossiriand can field. And then on the other flank, he's got pretty much about the same numbers. He's got some Wretches of ANGBAND, some very low-tier spear units. He's got some Guardians of the Iron Crown, AP Mace Infantry, I believe. A couple units of Spear Guard of the Iron Crown as well. And what this is going to allow him to do, not particularly well because this is definitely a kite army that he's facing. But if it was a more mainline infantry, like the House of Feanor, I believe, has good infantry, I believe this formation in this army would do very well because he's got lots of AP, and then because he's got his whole army split, he's going to be able to just charge this full front line just to hold off the main force, while the other force crushes around one of the flanks. And that would open his left line to a little bit of damage, but again, he's got Orcs, so he's got a lot of numbers to his side. But again, it's not really going to help him here because as the Elves of Ossiriand, FFA Muffins definitely brought a kiting army. But regardless, in addition to the rest of his infantry and his one marine of Wolf Riders of ANGBAND, he also has a unit of the Valaraukar. Basically better versions of Trolls. They have like a massive amount of hit points and armor. But again, as most Troll units, they're going to have to be supported for the most part. They don't have to be supported quite as much as these normal 2 units of Trolls or Troll Guard of Gothmog, but they are definitely going to need to be supported in order to get the price, in order to get the most worth out of them, because they are very expensive at about 1,500 florins, I believe. Also matching their price right here are the Uroloki. Very interesting, or very cool looking model actually. And I believe these guys can spit fire. We'll probably see that later in the battle. But yeah, very interesting unit, similar-ish to the Witchers, but better in melee. Still, you don't want them to leave them like unprotected or by themselves, but they can kind of hold their own in melee for the most part. And I believe that just about does it for the army compositions. And can we just get a nice shot of all this armor? Oh, these models look so good. So much work put into this mod, just like in Reforged. Really a big fan of this mod for sure. But we'll go ahead and start this battle. And now what I assume is going to happen is because of the deployment of FA Muffins here, you can see he's got all of his cavalry and as well as some of the more speedier archers all in the front line, and then his infantry all in the back. He's definitely going to have to try to get the most out of his arrows, because if he does not cut down the Orcs' numbers enough before the front lines of infantry meet each other, and he will definitely lose, purely because of the fact that the Orcs just outnumber him so very much. You can see he's shooting straight into these Halberdiers, but being protected by the shielded Ironshod Legionaries, it's not really going to do a ton of damage. However, Death Eater, of course, not just going to sit here and take it on the chin. He's going to be moving forward both of his forces here. The flanking one around and the front one in front, obviously. Gotta state the obvious sometimes. So yeah, it looks like he's got 3 units of the Ironshod Halberdiers backed by 3 units of Ironshod Legionaries. And you can see FF Muffins just skirting some cav around the edges, shooting his archers as much as they can, trying to just get in the most damage possible. And it looks like Death Eater is kind of marching his Ironshod Halberdiers a little bit ahead of the rest of his infantry. But we'll see how that goes for him. But actually, really quickly, I'm going to turn up the game sound, I think. A little bit quiet, so we'll bump that up a little bit. But regardless, Ents moving forward here, gonna maybe try to chase down these Wolf Riders of ANGBAND, who were pushing forward to go after the Horse Archers. Not a bad idea. You can see he is gonna take a charge here from the Outriders of Dulawen probably, and he's gonna have to get out of there real quick. Looks like he was able to just barely get behind his line of infantry, and it looks like FA Muffins, ooh, he turned around at the last second, but he did lose a few of his horsemen there. So probably not the best trade for FFA Muffins, but you know, it looks like he did shoot down a couple of these Wolf Riders of ANGBAND, who again are armored and shielded, so not going to take too many losses from the Horse Archers. But again, you don't want to just stand there letting him get shot. Valaraukar trying to chase down some of these sentries of Galeon, but he's going to have to be careful to not push forward too far. He could probably charge into these Urfanitar, which he looks like he might be trying to. Nope, he's turning around. And yeah, those arrows are not really going to do much at all to the Valaraukar. Over here, though, we have got some Outriders of Dulawen charging straight into 2 units of Troll Guard of Gothmog. And it looks like those AP Lancers are going to take down a few of the trolls, but they are not going to want to stay in prolonged combat at all, because here comes some Wolf Riders to support. So yeah, those Troll Guard did take some probably unnecessary damage here, but again, he's just got to try to protect his mainline infantry from this cavalry as much as possible. Wolf Riders of ANGBAND, Valraukar all up in these Outriders of Dulawan, going to take a decent amount of losses there, but still, very quick light cavalry, going to be able to pull out without too much damage. I didn't lose that many men there, thankfully for him. And yeah, I don't know if that was the best trade in the world for Death Eater there. He did lose a good amount of trolls. Even a couple of the Valraukar there going down to the AP charge from those Lancers. And those Wolf Guard of ANGBAND are really looking beat up now. Lost about 30 men already. Yep. Already you can see he's still just trying to reform his line. Earl Loki in the back there, do not want them to get shot at all, because he's going to have to really use them later in the battle to try to burn up some of those higher tier Elven units. You see F.A. Muffin still just skirting about the map, shooting arrows as much as possible. Again, he's just trying to whittle down the Orcs' numbers as much as possible, because if his infantry gets charged early on, if they get caught out, they will go down just purely due to the numbers of the Orcs here. And again, lots of AP here in the ANGBAND army as well, so definitely don't want his heavy infantry, or even the archers really, to get in melee with him for very long. Sentries of Gelion shooting right into the backs here of these Iron-Shod Legionaries. They're going to tank that better than most units, but still it would be better if they were turned around with their shield, but don't really want to leave them exposed out there to get charged by Lancers or anything, so he's going to reform his line here, try to protect his men a little bit better. And again, there's really nothing that Death Eater can do here, because besides the Urloki, he did not bring any skirmishers at all. Maybe a couple units of those half units of crossbows might have done him well, because Angmar does have access to some arbalists or crossbows. However, you can see he's definitely gone for more of a rush army. However, he's not rushing full in quite yet, because he doesn't really want to lose that many men on the advance, I would assume. Yeah, because he is going to take some losses here due to arrows, and it's just basically going to be a battle of, will the elves be able to do enough damage with their arrows before the infantry clashes? You can see, not really shooting at the Spear Guard or Guardians of the Iron Crown, mainly because they've got really good armor, really good shield values. Shooting a few shots in there, not getting much damage. Valraukar, though, charging in once again. Trying to catch these Sentries of Gelion, but looks like they're going to get away, because he's not going to want to charge Valraukar all up in there. And it looks like F.A. Muffins is slowly but surely running out of room. The Orcs are starting to slowly surround, but F.A. Muffins is still going to try to do as much damage as possible. Although he has been firing this entire time with his Horse Archers, so he probably is getting pretty close to coming out of ammo. Looks like his sentries are firing now at the cavalry. Again, armored and shielded, it's not going to do a ton of damage, but again, wanting to whittle down the few enemy cavalry on the field is going to be a good idea, because if he can take out the ANGBAND cavalry, he's going to basically have free reign in the back lines. And it looks like the Valraukar have connected over here with the Scouts of Gelion, taking another charge, though, from the Outriders of Dulawan. So we'll see how they fare here. Very outnumbered, very unsupported, but again, they are fighting against archers and cavs, so it might not be too bad. Looks like I don't see any Valraukar down. A lot of archers dead, a couple cavalry. He's going to pull out before anything worse happens to them. And it looks like F.A. Muffins has set up his battle line. He's probably running a bit low on ammo. Scouts of Gelion thinking about routing, but here comes a charge from the Outriders once again. Going to pull back last second, though, as the advance of these Iron-Shod Legionaries. Oh, and now a charge from the ANGBAND force is going to be going right into these archers who are trying to run away. But again, being mostly out of ammo and not wanting to have the last of his cavalry dead before the final assault, he's going to have to pull back for now. Luckily for him, though, looks like Death Eater did not get too many kills on that low-tier unit of Scouts of Gelion. Yes, the battle lines have been formed. You can see ANGBAND going to try to, like I said, advance with this main line, then flank around with the other. We will have to see how F.A. Muffins deals with this, with his outnumbered forces. Just firing every arrow he can, just trying to get in that little bit of extra damage before the front lines actually do engage. And yeah, I don't know about this, because I mean the archers, the heavily armored archers anyway, are AP, same with these macemen. But the rest of his infantry, I don't know exactly how well they're going to go toe-to-toe with that heavily armored ANGBAND force there. You can see F.A. Muffins still trying to move, and if Death Eater can catch them while they're moving like this, before they're formed up, he may just be able to split the forces of the elves, which is exactly what he's going to want to do, purely because he outnumbers them so badly in the first place. You can see the forces just moving, and it looks like, oh, we're going to get a good charge here from the Outriders of Dulawan, right into some Iron-Shod Legionaries who have turned around. Oh, getting a really good charge there. Look at that number just drop from the AP charge. Oh, but here comes some trolls trying to counter charge here. More arrows flying in at the Iron Shot Halberdiers in the back. Lost about, how many would that be? Ooh, good 60-ish maybe. Trolls able to protect what's left of those Iron Shot Legionaries, but they did lose about 90 of their men there from that single charge. Definitely not what Death Eater would have wanted. And it looks like the elves have managed to form up fully before the final clash. You can see most of his archers looks like are out of ammo now. However, these Urfin and Tower are definitely not going to slack off in melee with their AP axes. Just going to cut down wave after wave of these ANGBAND forces, rather. Have I said Angmar this entire time? I hope not. You can see Earl Loki around the flank is going to be very, very deadly with their flaming shots. We'll see what happens here. Heavily armored force around the right side. Some cheaper units in the front. We'll see how this works out for him. Looks like the cavalry is on mostly F.A. Muffin's right flank here. And it looks like the elves are not going to wait around. They're just going to charge headlong into the orc forces. And it looks like the orcs are actually going to be pulling back with their main line. Probably not the best idea. Oh, well, might not work out too bad in the end. It looks like the elves are stopping short. Oh, you can see the Urloki firing straight into this line here. Getting a nice few kills there, burning up a few of those cheaper units. Probably would be better to target some of the more expensive, heavily armored stuff, but still going to get a good number of kills there. And it looks like some AP two-handed axes are going to go into these Guardians of the Iron Crown Spear Guard, and that's not good because the Guardians are AP, but they're not two-handers, so they're probably not going to trade very well with these Urfin and Tari, who do not slack off in melee. And it looks like there are some cavalry on the flank, so if he's not careful, Death Eater is going to take some losses there. Oh, the Valrakar and Trolls, though, busting through this line, and ooh, look at all those kills right there from the Urloki. Oh, so good. The Spear Host of Galleon wavering. Oh, broken, fighting to the death with some other units. Looks like these elves are not faring too well. He's going to try to push some cavalry in here to change the tide. But again, these are just horse archers, so they're not going to be doing too well against Trollguard and Valaraukar. The main line looks like has also connected. Some Iron Shot Halberdiers are going to trade quite well, I'd imagine, with the Spear Host, as well as these other few units around here. Really light armor over here, so the AP is not going to do too well, but the reach is going to really help him out. Although the Spear Host also do have some good reach of their own. You can see the Cavalry and Ents have also connected. Looks like the Outriders of Dual are trying to go after these Urloki, who are going to be counter-charging. Got some low-tier spears here to try and support, but those Ents are also going to be doing a lot of damage up in here. Yeah, you can see these Guardians and Spear Guard really just getting cut to shreds by all this AP that's in here, being supported also by some cheaper archers and stuff like that. Another unit of Spear Host of Rathloriel also going into the fray now. Valaraukar are really gonna have to get some, really gonna have to go in there to help turn the tide. Urloki should also be definitely firing into this massive blob here. I'm assuming that's what he's trying to do. Just trying to reposition in order to do so a little bit better. Over here we've also got some Wolf Riders of Angband trying to run down some cavalry that's just kind of running around out in the back line. Oh, we're now going to turn face and go charge headlong into these Scots of Galleon, who are being unprotected, and that is not going to be good for F.A. Muffins. However, he could pull some units back to kind of help him out. You can see Wolfguard really are getting cut to pieces by these Spear Hosts here. And more Trolls in here, and there's just, I don't think there's enough AP to deal with the Trolls in that Valaraukar right now. I mean, you can see he's trying to get his cavalry to charge in the flanks and everything, but over here there's a lot of AP. That's pretty much the only area, though, where he's doing probably, I'd say, better in the melee. He's, again, trying to do his best, but there's so much Troll and Spear, so many Orcs, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, these Urloki really need to start firing. Ooh, a little bit of friendly fire there. Looks like there's some routing going on as well. Urloki going to have to fire as much as possible into this blob. You can see the Guardians of the Iron Crown, Spear Guard, ooh, they're just getting butchered by the AP and the Ents here. He's going to really have to be careful. He's got some Valaraukar on that flank, but again, even they will suffer quite grievously at the hands of those AP two-handed axes. But over here, oh yeah, Angband is definitely just starting to melt. Looks like he's actually going to turn his Valaraukar over here, try to quickly crush this flank of F.A. Muffins, and then move everybody over here. Just going to have to hope these few remaining Guardians of the Iron Crown and Spear Guard just hold on for just long enough. And also, with most of his forces over here being dead, he can fire freely with his Urloki, try to get in as much damage as possible without much worry of friendly fire. And you can see these Urfin and Tower really doing a lot of damage, but they are still slowly being cut down to size just by the pure numbers of the Angband forces here. Really wonderful battle so far. Thank you to J Monster for sending it to me. Yeah, looks like over here these Spear Hosts trying to do their best. Kind of looks like they're going to Shiltron perhaps. Looks like some Iron Shot Legionaries, very healthy, are kind of running away for some reason. Not too sure about that. Most of the cavalry looks like is dead for FA Muffins. Still a little bit of Wolf Rider left. Ents are down to 6. Valoralkar are at 6 as well. There are still also a lot of trolls. You can see it's probably going to be a win, I'd say, for Death Eater. He might be out of ammo, but we'll see with the Uraloki. It's like some Urfin and Tower are going to go a little bit in the back and then try to get an AP charge off onto these trolls and heavily armored Valoralkar. Yeah, oof. It's gonna be close, but I feel like Death Eater's probably got this in the bag because this small group of elves here is probably gonna go down pretty quickly. He's still got his Uraloki. Elves don't really have much left. He's still got Valoralkar. There's only 5 Ents left. There's even a little bit of Spear Guard of the Iron Crown here left. Look at that. Yeah, this is going to be a win, I'd say, for the Realm of ANGBAND. He's still got his Iron Shot Legionaries back there for whatever reason. Charging with some Wolf Riders into the back of these units over here. And looks like that's going to be probably just about it for FA Muffins. Definitely a very good battle, though. You can see over here, Urfin Tower down to 35. Where are the Ents? So are they still alive? 5 of them still, huh? I only see the one. I don't know where the other ones are, actually. Alright, let's see one of them as well. No generals have died yet either, so that's going to make people fight for a bit longer. And it looks like Death Eater. Looks like the Realm of ANGBAND actually just admitted defeat for whatever reason. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about that because I kind of feel like he would have won that, but I don't know. Well, I guess that's just how it ends. But still, definitely a very good battle nonetheless. I definitely think if the battle had continued, Death Eater probably would have won that. He just had a little bit too much, I think, for FA Muffins' beleaguered forces to deal with. But we can go ahead and look at the kills. Ents getting 104 kills. The Outriders, the Horse Archers doing alright. Well, that one did good, but the other one, not so bad. Sentries of Galleon, one getting 146 and 152. Ooh. Oh, and one of those units of Mace Infantry got 209 kills, just butchering. 318 on the Urfin and Tower. That was probably one of the ones on the flanks just going ham on all that heavily armored infantry. Scouts of Galleon getting 110 as well. But yeah, that will be it for this Silmarillion Total War replay. Again, thank you very much to JMonster for sending this to me. I'll definitely put a link down to the mod in the description. Well, actually, I don't know if it's out publicly yet. I should probably ask before I do that. But regardless, please look forward to this mod in the future if it's not already out for the public, because it's definitely going to be a very, very fun one. Actually, I'm almost positive it's not out to the public yet, but still, look forward to the videos, and then also look forward to the mod when it comes out, because I know they're working very hard on it, and it would be great to show them some appreciation for all the work they do. Anyway, that will be all for this one, so I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you did not, just go ahead and tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it in the next one. So farewell wherever you fare, till your ivories receive you at your journey's end.